thought it was fucking recording. I thought I thought I was running the whole shit. Clap and start.
Is it ready to go?
It's fucking recording.
All right. Hey, hell! Okay, let's do it again. All right, welcome back to Open Mat Chronicles, 1865 here. Once again, back at you guys. What's up, Schaefer?
Schaefer in the house. What's up, everybody? This is take two, man. We fucked up. We weren't even recording this thing.
You did, not me.
Okay. We meaning me.
I
fucked up.
Because you very rarely make mistakes.
Well, I made a mistake, and
so I gotta explain it.
We did a whole damn episode, and we just lost all that shit. It doesn't even matter though, because we still gonna do it again. That shit was fun. So, hey, Rod, how's it going today?
It's doing good. I see you're drinking a Modelo.
I'm drinking a Modelo, and we were talking about Modelo, friggin' America's beer from Mexico or whatever. So, all right, look, here was the question. Is it worth it for upper belts, brown and black belts, to take on apprentices, right? Like, if you, let's say you're a black belt, you're instructor, you got all your fucking bars on there and shit, right? All right, you're already teaching, but should you take a couple of people and like make them your own, make a little mini me? And then the second thing we're going to talk about, let's say you're an owner of a school or a gym or a dojo, and you're probably not going to be able to work that shit forever, right? You're going to want to retire at some point in time. Should you start building a joker up and say, hey, this is going to be my successor. This is going to be the guy who takes over and keeps this thing alive, or opens my affiliate schools, or whatever the case may be. I already have an opinion on this. I know you do too. Yeah. Let's start with the first one, right? Let's just start with the mini me. Okay. You're an instructor at somebody else's school, whatever the case may be. What do you think?
So you're an instructor, black belt instructor, and you're already teaching. You're saying you're already putting your hours in teaching your 2 days, 3 days a week, whatever. On top of that, going above and beyond, bringing up a little mini me, you're saying, right?
Absolutely.
I don't think there's any obligation to, but I think it's cool if you do, because you're already putting a lot of energy into teaching. I think you should teach if you're a black belt. You should share the art in some fashion, whether it's teaching a formal class, or if you don't want to do that, you best be like taking some underlings under you, right?
Right, yeah, hell yeah.
Building them up.
Get those acolytes.
It's your responsibility as a black belt. That's what I think.
I agree.
We do have some black belts. I mean, not us personally, but I mean, there are black belts that exist that are just like student black belts that just come into role. And there's nothing really wrong with that. I'm not going to fault them for that, but I just think that it would be better if they, helped out another student, because chances are they got there by somebody helping them,
Exactly. They're going, listen, it was all shared with us. I mean, rarely will you get the guy who just learned because no one took an interest in him, right? You weren't just like, hey, I'm just going to show up and whatever they teach, that's how I'm going to learn, and the hell with anything else. Somebody probably said, hey, man, let me show you this. Yeah. Let me show you this. Let me give you the secret sauce, right? I believe that for sure you should. You should take a white belt, adopt a white belt classes, adopt a white belt and make them ridiculously dangerous. Make them somebody who, when the blue belts and the purple belts start rolling with them, they go, you got that shit from Harold, didn't you?
Yeah.
You got that shit from Rod, didn't you? They're like, man, I know that shit. I've seen that shit. And I think you should.
It's funny because I'll be rolling with somebody. I'm like, dude, that's a total Gus move right there. Like, you can just tell it's got Gus DNA on it. Like,
absolutely.
Dude, that's totally something he would do.
Absolutely.
And that's good,
It's really good. Shit, like I got I saw a Facebook post. I think Facebook is only for old people now, right?
I think it is.
All right. Well, anyway,
we have another podcast about that one. Yeah. And it actually flows into jiu-jitsu.
All right.
Cool. The future of jiu-jitsu.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, that's going to be a good one. So, okay, so I'm on Facebook. I'm just checking out some shit from Hassett School, and somebody put up a post about my boy Mark Rowe. That's the guy who threw me through the freaking wall the first time I ever went. He's a great guy, super nice guy, but he's the meanest nice guy you've ever met in your life. And somebody was saying that. They were like, oh man, they just posted a picture. His nose was all jacked up, and he's like, yeah. Thanks, Mark Rowe, right? And they were just talking about it, but it's Hassett loving. We used to call it Hassett loving when you were a little over aggressive in your jujitsu, because we're the gentle art. But every now and again, we kind of pressed we pressed the gas a little too hard, and so we called that Hassett Loving. And Mark Rowe was one of Hassett's first guys, and so he's picked up a lot of those traits, and he's just super aggressive, right? And the point being, we have our instructor who made a mini me, and then Mark Rowe made other mini me's, and then there's been probably, I think somebody's already got their black belts under Mark, since Mark Rowe's been in too. It just keeps going on and on and on, right?
Yeah.
So, like your thing, you got the heel hooks, you got all the leg attacks and whatnot, and I know you've grabbed some guys and you've thrown them under your wing.
But you know the funny thing about that, like I'll only share that stuff if the guy is interested, because I'm not going to force like, hey, you're going to be a leg lock. I'm not going to do that. But we have a couple of guys in our school that they have the mobility and the athleticism, and they like leg locks.
Right.
And I'm working with these guys. I'm showing them everything I know. I show them, and that's the flip side. It sucks for me because it's like, dang, man, that's like the one thing I catch these fools with. Now it's like,
right, you're giving it away.
But it is what it is, man. And it's not. I'm not competing with them at the same time. Like these are like my fellow students. And
yes.
I'm not going to be. There'd be no reality where me, at my age, competing with these guys half my age,
That's true.
In a competition. So
That's
it's
true.
like I have nothing really to prove against these guys, it's fun. I want to be competitive against them, and I want to make sure I, bring what I can.
But you still want to share it. You still want to bring them up.
Yeah, I'm not going to hold them back because I don't want to, I don't know, guess put myself in a bad position to where they might catch me. So I'm going to still share what I know.
Totally. I mean, that's checking your ego at the door. You're like, hey, listen, I get it. We all get tapped occasionally. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's some people who never get tapped. But whatever, listen, if you're okay, if you can check your ego, you go, listen, I'm working with this guy or working this gal. She's got it. He's got it. They got me in the move. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. It's not the end of the world, right?
Yeah, they should. Like, if you teach something efficiently and they learn it, like, why wouldn't they be able to apply it if they're, if there's an opportunity? Because, again, when you're rolling with these guys, you're not going like 100%. You're just kind of like, you're practicing, you're moving, you're training. You're basically you're drilling training, right?
Yes.
So there are going to be situations. I even tell them, like, man, I want you guys to go for my legs. Go for my legs. Because I want to start getting better at defense. Because we don't have a deep school of leg lock guys. We have a handful of guys, right?
Right.
So I'm a little bit rusty on my defenses because I don't have a lot of really good leg lock
Nobody's
guys.
Nobody's coming after me
that much. Yeah. We got a couple of good guys that they catch me and stuff. But outside of that, I want to build up some more leg lock guys so we could all get better.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Absolutely.
That was a lot of words to say what I just said.
Hey, man, but listen, the people love the words, Ron. The people love the words. Shit. So, all right. So just so we don't drag on, right? Because we do really want to talk about instructors too, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, owners, not just instructors, but instructor owners.
Instructor owners.
So I'm going to use John again as my primary example. He had his school when I first started. It was out by the Jersey Shore, so we went out there, and then he moved the school a little bit further north, and it just happened to be that I moved a little further north, so it was perfect timing. So I moved with the school, and he over some years he brought a guy on named Jeff. Love the guy to death, right? And he had him from white belt. And he took a particular interest in him. He helped him out. He gave him the secret sauce. He gave him private lessons, all kinds of stuff. And it was like, I believe some of the private lessons were in trade for doing work. For keeping the books.
Yeah.
For teaching kids classes. Nice. For cleaning the mats.
That's awesome.
Yeah, right.
I love it.
Back in the day, right? It was like somebody goes, "Hey, man, I want to learn what you've got."
Yeah.
I'm willing to work for it because maybe I don't have enough money. Jiu-jitsu is fucking expensive.
Yeah.
Right? Maybe I don't have enough money just to keep paying you month after month, $150 or whatever the hell the cost is. But if you will teach me, I will work for you, and that will be my reward.
Yeah.
Right? And John, he kept meticulous records. He knows every class I've ever been to. He knows every belt promotion I've been to. Every time I got a stripe, he's got it written down, right?
Yeah.
Because he had people keeping very meticulous books.
Nice.
And then after Jeff, there was freaking JP. He got his black belt with me. JP moved on to run John's second location, right? So he's got multiple locations now, but he's got guys he brought up from white belt. You know, so, and then his son, John's son, is a black belt now too. I mean, that's legacy, right?
Yeah,
At some point, John, he's going to stop wanting to do this. His son could take over his whole fucking school, take over the empire. What are your thoughts, man? Like what do you do?
I think you should. You have to just let. I'm not really quite sure what you're specifically asking me, to be honest. Like,
I want to know what you think. Like, let's put you in a situation.
Okay.
You've got a school. You've been running it. You've been doing it now for 10, 15 years, right?
Okay.
Ideally, you're going to want to retire.
Okay, for sure.
But you're still going to want your school to live on.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
You got to bring up a small pool of people, like a small group of people that you've invested time in, and you know you care about them, you care about their development,
right?
And I think those guys will be loyal to you, and ultimately, like, that's the only way to do it. I mean, unless you're just gonna hire somebody out on the street, like why do that when you can just build somebody up and kind of shape them the way you want it. I think it starts at white belt. There's how many white belts that come in that are just like these young kids, maybe they're like 19, whatever. They don't really have a lot of direction, but they
blank canvas.
Blank canvas, man. They're just like, but they love the art of jiu-jitsu. They want to be good at it, and they just want to be a black belt like tomorrow.
Right.
That's their thing, right? So you can kind of shape them along that and build them along that journey, right?
For sure.
And I think there's a lot of loyalty that comes with that from their side, especially. So I see it as a win-win.
See, and that makes sense to me too, right? Because it's not an overnight fucking thing.
No.
Like, it's like you take a white belt and you want to make them your black belt. Well, you're looking at 10 years. You've just said, okay, I'm about to dedicate about 10 years to this motherfucker, right? Which is why you can't just have one.
Yeah.
You know, because I mean, one of them bails on you. You're like, oh shit, I just put all my eggs in one basket.
Yeah.
Don't do that, right? Diversify your portfolio.
You do need to diversify your portfolio of underlings.
Absolutely. So, but as the time goes, right, you'll see, okay, hey, I was working with this joker, working with that joker. These are my guys. I'm sending them to competitions. I'm giving them free gis with the logo on the back. Like, and they're like, oh shit, this is awesome. Like, coach loves me. He's gonna make me a killer. And they're going out there, they're winning. Maybe they're winning or losing. It doesn't even matter.
They're so proud to represent the school. It's like they feel like part ownership of it,
Absolutely,
they love it.
Right?
Yeah, it's all good.
They're like, hey man, I got my first girlfriend, but I dumped her ass because I had to get to class, man. And she was like, well, you don't love me enough. And it's like, I love jiu-jitsu, baby. I don't have time for this. So you're creating these little monsters, these little killers, and but then you've got people who now they can maybe teach your kids class, right? Now they can teach your fundamentals class. Now you can start moving yourself away from day-to-day activities. You got some joker in there who's like, hey, you know what? I know how to write a name in a book and take attendance.
Exactly.
Awesome. That's what I needed. I need you to take attendance. And you build a small little cadre of people, right? Let's say you get 3, 4, 5 people under your belt. Maybe they don't pay full price, but what you save in administrative fees, it was worth it.
Oh yeah,
right? And like you said, you're building loyalty.
I think just having them teach is a big deal. That takes a huge workload off your plate.
But they can't teach in the beginning.
No, they can't teach in the
beginning. There's not shit they can do. No. Like for the first 4 years, 5 years, it's like
So you're starting at day one. So yeah, you're gonna have to be. But at day one, you're younger though, so you're gonna have to do the brunt of the work.
Yes.
But if
you're cleaning mats, you're fucking unclogging toilets and shit. You're doing grunt work.
You're building the business up. But yeah, once it's up and running, you got purple belts. They should be able to jump in, teach a class, substitute, whatever.
Absolutely.
Like, I think it's a great. I've been talking to Gus about this, getting a small group of guys together that are like on a little special little deal to where they could be like subs on call.
Yes.
Say, hey man, I can't teach Wednesday night. All right, call up Jake. You got it. Whatever.
That's it. Put that shit in a group chat.
Yeah, something.
100%. I agree.
A small group of guys. But I think minimum they should be like a purple belt or like a brown belt. And we already talked about it. Like I believe if you're a brown belt, to get your black belt, you need to do something. You need to either like if you don't want to teach, then you could compete.
Yeah, you got to do something. You got to show your.
You got to show something. Yeah, and if you don't want to compete, you don't have to compete. Then just teach. Then share. Share it that way. Show that you could teach a class. And I think one of those two is going to be I think one of those two is necessary to get your black belt, in my opinion.
Totally.
That's just what I think. And a good way to prep that is to start at the purple belt, and they could be like substitute teachers, to start building them in.
Yes.
That way you kind of have like 10 guys that like, how many guys want to teach?
Yeah, dude, because everybody's got their little thing that they're really good at, and they're like, yo, let me show this shit. My special finishing move. Yeah, I agree. I totally agree with that. And as you go through the years, right, you should also be picking up new white belts and new blue belts so that you do build up that buffer, because the attrition rate's going to happen. You're going to lose some people, right? Hell, this is the part that always fucking sucks, but it happens at every school you look at. Somebody's gonna go, man, I'm gonna open my own damn school, and they're gonna bail. Dude, it happens. It happens. It's happened to all of our friends. We've seen it happen, right?
It's happened
and it's like, but that's okay if you've built up this group of people that you can lean on, and you give them respect. You give them autonomy.
Yeah.
You let them actually get out there and do the damn thing, and you show appreciation for what they're doing for you.
Yeah.
And you're going to build loyalty that way.
Yeah.
You're going to build loyalty. So
I don't really think there's anything wrong with that.
I don't think
because,
so.
I mean, isn't that like the American dream? Is like you learn, you get proficient in something, and then you open your own gig. I mean, even if it was like a little mechanic shop, and then the guy has like a couple of little mechanics working underneath him, like he brings them up after like 5-6 years, like, I'm going to open my own little mechanic shop. Why is that a bad thing? It's not a bad thing.
It's not.
It should be. It's called capitalism, right?
And inevitably,
there's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Here's a funny thing. For you to get your shop, you did that.
Yep. Because you learn from somewhere.
You learn from somebody else.
You're damn right.
Thing. So jiu-jitsu doesn't stop at that one place. Like and no one else can ever open a school.
Exactly.
That's just my opinion,
No, that's a fucking great point, man. That's a solid opinion. It's a solid point. And you're right? It's like, what instructor didn't have a fucking instructor?
Exactly.
Everybody had to learn from someone, and then they made the conscious effort to say, I'm now going to leave my instructor and open my own school.
Think about it. That's actually, in a way, that's kind of a compliment. It's like, man, I've learned so much here. I'm so good that I'm going to open a freaking school.
Wow.
Like, that's crazy. Think about it, right? Like, if you look at it that way, it's like it seems like it's an ultimate compliment in a way, because you've learned so much at that school that you are at this mental state where, like, I can do this, man.
Yeah, dude.
I can do it.
And that's legit.
Myself. In your mind, maybe I could do a little bit better. Maybe I could do it differently. Maybe I could do it however. I'm going to
put my own twist.
Put my own little spin on it.
Yep.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, if you take care of the people under you, everybody won't do that. And some of them are like, nah, fuck that. I'm going to stick with you.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be the guy who opens your second location for you.
Exactly.
Because you've got the street cred. You've got the name recognition.
Exactly.
So now this is just XYZ School Part 2.
And yeah, you're right. And also too, like, the guys that do that they're driven, they're business oriented. Like, even if they went to another school, they would eventually leave that school to still open their own school. Like,
hell yeah.
It's nothing against the first. They're gonna do. The end goal is that they want to open a school.
Absolutely.
Period. If you happen to be the school that they left from to open that school, that's just the way the chips fell.
Yeah.
But even if they went to a school over here, boom, for like a year, boom, I'm opening my. It's not like their dreams.
It was going to happen.
It's going to happen. Dude. They're going to open a school, right?
For sure.
And most people don't open schools. Those people that are going to open schools, my point is, they're driven, they're passionate. There's like, nothing's going to stop me. I'm going to do it.
Yeah, it takes a lot to open a fucking school, dude. It takes a lot. Hell no, I ain't opening fucking shit. I'll come to your school and I'll teach some fucking wrist locks or something. That's about it. Then you go do some leg locks, some wrist locks.
We got the small joints covered.
Hell damn yeah. and maybe if you fucking pay me enough, I'll teach you the din mach. Hell yeah. But
okay, so what's is there? So there really shouldn't be any concern about that then, because that's going to happen if those people have that in their mindset. That's going to happen irrespective of.
Yes. So, all right. Should there be no concern? Yeah. Look, I get the concern because it's still a business, right?
Correct.
And like, if you got a motherfucker who opens a school next door to yours and he was your fucking student, that's a concern, right?
Yeah,
that's a concern.
Yeah.
But once again, this is America. And you're allowed to do that. So how do you stop that from happening?
You can't.
You can't. That's the truth of the matter.
Yeah, I think it comes down to just like investing in your students.
Yeah.
Like I would say, like Gus and I have a really good relationship.
Absolutely.
And like, I mean, Gus has told me many times, "Hey, Rod, if you ever want to open a school, I'll help you do it. I'll help you."
Right, and
because he knows right now,
sure.
number one, I would never like, I'm going to go try to,
Right, you wouldn't just do it and then you say, oh, by the way, ta-da.
Yeah.
No, but you know what's funny? And we talked about it. We were like, yeah, but we wouldn't do that.
We're just like, it's just not really my.
Yeah, we're just gonna stay here and we're just kick it with you, man.
Yeah.
This is cool. But yeah, so if you've got something up and running, it's a matter of courage, right? It's because you first of all, you have the courage to step out. You had the courage to step out and open it. Now, if you've been running it for some time, well, it took courage to go through the trials and tribulations of keeping it there. It also takes courage to give up a little bit of vulnerability and go, I could get fucked.
You're right.
I could get fucked over. If I teach you everything, you could fucking drag me, man.
Dude, you're describing marriage.
Ain't that a bitch? Right? Yeah, because you make yourself vulnerable.
You're vulnerable.
You make yourself vulnerable. And it's just like...
Shout out to all the married guys.
You make yourself vulnerable. And the thing about vulnerability is you could lose.
You could lose, but you could have a good reward too, though.
It could be great or it could be disastrous.
Yeah.
Right? And... you got to actually, that's when you have to check yourself and go, well, what's my tolerance level for the possibility of good or bad, right? Because what's the alternative? When I die, my school dies too.
Yeah. And think about this too. If you're a school that really pushes competition.
Right.
And you really want to get all those top students like gold, double gold, triple gold pans, right?
Yeah.
Masters. Okay, so what comes with that? Every time that guy wins a gold, he's like, yeah, I'm pretty good, dude. He's getting more street cred. I could do this myself. Like, you're building up little entrepreneurs by building these little monsters, basically, right?
The beauty of the world is
that's why
everybody's not an entrepreneur.
Yeah, I know.
Thank God.
But I think opening a school, one little part of that would be heavy competition. Like, these guys have gone through, like, yo, dude, I'm opening a school because I've done all this. I've won these championships. I've done these medals. I got my street cred. That's part of it.
I agree.
Right? So
totally.
You're kind of, like, inadvertently creating people that could find.
You're creating your own competition.
You should though. I mean, like you can't. It's like, look, it's the same thing as me saying I'm not going to teach any secret moves because I don't want to get tapped out by a lower belt. No, I can't do that. It is what it is. You can't control what other people do.
You have to make yourself vulnerable.
You kind of have to.
And that's scary.
It's very scary.
Shit.
So what's it? Should we get married? No, I'm kidding.
I'm already there. I'm in it.
I kid.
So. Fuck. Hey, if you own a school and give us your insight on that. Like, are you training people to replace you? I mean, if you're not, what's going to happen, man? What happens? Like, do you just do it until you die on the mat, and then everybody just goes, "Oh shit, professor's dead, so I guess we got to go find a new school"?
Well, I would say just anecdotally looking at the other schools, I think a lot of other schools, when you go there, there's a lot of different guys teaching.
For sure.
I don't know if there's any just like one dude teaching.
Rarely.
There's like 6 or 7 guys teaching, day class, night, evenings, whatever.
But are they the successors? Are they the ones?
I mean,
who are gonna stand in the gap when it's created?
I mean, I don't know what you mean by like taking over the school because like you're not going to give your school to somebody just because he teaches.
Well,
like, that's a business.
It's a business, but when I say give over the school to them, I'm saying like, all right, I still expect to make some money from this.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you're not going to make the same
more of like
amount
a silent
of money.
part, like
right?
I
become like I'm now willing to. Maybe I'm even running some of the back end stuff.
Yeah.
But you're my instructor.
Yeah.
You're the one kind of taking it in the direction that it's going to go. I'm just now collecting money. This is now a passive income thing for me.
Yeah. I see what you're saying. Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know if they're. All the guys that are running schools I know of are pretty young. They're still like they're like in their 20s. So when you're in your 30s, you're like, bro, you're gonna live forever when you're in your 30s.
You're balls
right?
to the wall.
Yeah.
You're like, I'm gung ho. This is mine.
You're not even thinking about like not being able to teach or anything.
But do you see the folly in that? Do you see the problem in that?
Just like you should have investments in a retirement plan.
it's like you're not going to stay young forever.
Exactly.
And in fact, look, dude, the older you get, the faster it seems like you keep getting older and older.
It's true.
So it's like,
stop it.
This is real shit. This is real shit, man. It's like I turn around, I blink my eyes, and I'm like, what the fuck? That was 10 years.
I know, it's crazy, yeah.
I got a little baby who's gonna start driving soon. That fucks my head up.
Yo, dude, I'm old, man. I looked at the car that was like, think of the car that was brand new when I was born.
There it is.
Oh man, it's old. It's like zero.
There it
technology.
is, right? I remember. Oh, dude, I remember when you showed all the different.
Oh, yeah.
Was it Mustang? Porsches.
I took a Thunderbird, a Ford Thunderbird.
From all the different years of me and you and some of our boys, and we're like, this is the Thunderbird from this year and this year and this year. And
this
I was
is
like,
what the Thunderbird looked like when you were born.
Yeah.
And we got to mine. I was like, damn, they were old, dude.
Yeah, that shit like a Flintstone fucking truck.
They did have little holes cut out. I think, but you know what's funny about yours? Yours was like, damn, dude.
My shit is like, badass, baby. The 70s is the shit, man. Look, we had pimp hats and platform shoes.
Huggy
Bear, baby. All right, so the point still being is, what the fuck are some of you young jokers who own schools now going to do? Some of you young bucks, right? Yeah. He's like, I'm 27, I'm 28, I'm 32, 34. I got a school. It's great. It's blah, 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 blah. All right. Are you building some people up? Because it's going to take you 10 years to make your freaking new person a black belt. Yeah. Well, now you're fucking 44.
I think they are, though. I think the schools nowadays are.
You think they're on it?
I think they're on it. I think what they're doing is they're opening multiple schools too, because just right there it tells you that they have the correct mindset, you know. So they're expanding. That's what I think.
All right. But, I mean, and if they are, fucking good, man. More power to you. I hope you actually are. And if you are, fucking let us know, because I want to know, man. I want, obviously I want the art to fucking live on forever. Yeah. It's going to live on forever, right? But I don't want all the art to have to live on because somebody leaves and just starts their whole new own shit. Like, that's cool, branch off, but I also like to see the lineage. Like, I want to see a direct line.
I don't know if that's the case. I think it's dying now. That lineage. I was watching a really interesting podcast about that, and I'm not 100% sure I'm in agreement, but I kind of am.
Right.
They're saying because there's so many schools and people are transient when they're younger, you're getting little bits of everything. You end up being like an amalgamation of all these schools. Gotcha. It's hard to say like, oh, I'm a Carlos. I'm not a Carlos.
So there's no traditionals.
There's not really. I mean, if anything, like I might be close to that because I came up under Gus, who came up under Cassio, who came up under a few other guys.
Right. Yeah.
But for most guys, I just happened to be older when I started, so I was already stable. I wasn't moving anywhere. That's kind of rare, though. But if you're like 20s, lineage is kind of washing out, man. And I think that may be good because it might be better to learn from a multiple people.
Yeah,
that's why guys
I argued that. Right now, I argued that in the past. I've argued that opening it up to more people makes you better. But fuck. But then when I sit here and look at it, I'm like, dude, I can trace my lineage. Boom. It's short. It's right there. I get it. But you're right, because now, like...
Then you got this little blue belt, do a little M&R, you're like, what? I didn't learn that in my lineage.
And now you're right. So now it's like, well, what's your lineage? And you go, well, I was with this guy and this guy and this guy and this guy and this guy, and he was under him and him and him and him. And
it's like asking somebody, like, well, what
nationality
are you? I don't freaking know, dude. I'm a million
fucking
things.
Million things.
Everybody's got something. If you do the DNA test, everybody's a mix of everything now.
We should get a 23andMe for jiu-jitsu.
That's a good enough.
I think there actually is one.
Really?
It was not that, but I remember years and years ago, where there was a thing. It was tracing people's lineage.
Oh, really?
But could you imagine if somebody took on the endeavor to just say, hey, you know what? I'm gonna reach out to every fucking jiu-jitsu practitioner out there and fucking and build one huge web. Dude, I'm about to fucking do that. I'm about to get rich. Hey, don't steal my fucking idea out there, people. So I'm about to do that. I'm about to trace the lineage of everybody who's ever done jiu-jitsu.
There'll be like a big blank spot, and it'll just be here and say, "Don't steal my idea."
Don't tell my
edit it out.
It's mine. Bastards.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody always steals my shit, Rod.
I know.
I gotta stop drinking Modelo and talking on fucking podcasts.
See what happens?
But you know what? I look at it like this, man. This shit, like, I fucking do like lineage, and I do like fucking, like, just teaching people and sharing shit.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna keep doing it. I know you're gonna keep doing it.
I'm gonna keep doing it
because that shit's important to us, right?
Yeah.
And if it's important to you, Rod, you'll find a way. And if it's not, man, you'll find an excuse. I hope y'all got something from this shit. Like I really am interested, especially from some gym owners or whatever, or even if you talk to gym owners regularly. Let us know. Like, I'm actually really interested. Like, are you bringing people up to replace you?
Yes.
Like, are you fucking making your own replacements? Shit. What you got, Rod?
I was kind of depressed.
No, stop! Stop. We can't be depressed. We can't be depressed at the end of every episode. Fuck. We're gonna be up here crying and shit. This is bullshit. No, I want to be happy at the end of the episode.
It's just having a long-term vision. Everybody has to have a long-term vision, right?
Yes.
So I think we should do some little bit of digging on it, a little investigative research.
Yeah, dude.
Talk some peeps and find out if you guys share it, put it in the comments.
Hell damn
what you guys have to say. And on that note, I guess we out of here.
Fuck yeah.
Peace. We'll talk to you guys next week.
Us.
I like your idea.
I hope these motherfuckers don't steal my shit.
They gonna steal it.
If you steal my shit, fuck y'all.